guess what? We have the Department of Justice under President Barack Obama, who chose to go after Texas when it came to their voter ID law. But Texas has certainly found a friendly face in terms of Donald Trump's Department of Justice. They have decided that Texas is pretty good. They've solved all of the discrimination issues. You might recall several federal courts ruled in Texas that their law, their voter ID law, had a discriminatory intent, that it was blocking more than 600,000 people from getting a voter ID. The Obama Department of Justice sided with plaintiffs, saying it was indeed discriminatory and that action should be taken to prevent that law from coming into practice. Well, guess what? Trump wins, Sessions become Attorney General, and they say it's all good. Everything in Texas is great. It's all working out. Critics say that is a flat-out lie. Let's go right to Texas right now with Royce West. He is a state senator there from Dallas. He joins us via FaceTime. Senator West, always good talking with you. It is amazing how the DOJ now looks at this voter ID law. In your estimation, you're one of 31 state senators. Has Texas fixed its problem?
Absolutely not. There was no pause in that. It's absolutely not. The Senate voted 21-10. We had one Democrat vote for that particular bill, but you can be assured that it was all along party lines. They, again, decided not to take any amendments being offered by Democrats whatsoever. That was one of the issues that was noted by the court in previous rulings. The fact is that they put in some provision called reasonable impediment, but that reasonable impediment is subject to interpretation. It's a problem looking for a solution. It's a solution looking for a problem. That's all it is, Roland. And so we know exactly what this is. This is the beginning of attempting to do exactly what you said at the top, deal with issues or do issues of voter suppression throughout this country.
This is what the DOJ said in their statement. Texas's voter ID law both guarantees to Texas voters the opportunity to cast an in-person ballot and protects the integrity of Texas's elections by dramatically reducing the number of voters who lack acceptable photographic identification. And of course, that's what they say. But when you look at this particular bill, they lay out that utility bills, bank statements, paychecks, folks also must sign an affidavit swearing there was a, quote, reasonable impediment that kept them from getting a valid photo ID, and voters who lie on the affidavit could face felony charges with a maximum of 2 years in jail.
That's exactly right. I mean, you know, and so when you have that type of quote unquote criminal penalty, that people are going to think twice about putting down anything that they reasonably believe was an impediment. And obviously that ends up being a situation where a election judge or a voter or an election director within a particular county can then kind of look at that particular reason and then in hindsight determine whether or not it was reasonable and then make that person subject to criminal prosecution. A lot of people won't do that.
And when we talk about voter suppression, what we are seeing in a minute, we're going to talk about this fraudulent voter integrity commission that Donald Trump has. This is a consistent effort that we have seen since the election of President Barack Obama to ramp up voter suppression. For the first time in 2016, we had a presidential election where the Voting Rights Act was not fully enforced. We have Republicans who are leading these efforts. I don't care what anybody says, Republicans are doing in 2017 what segregationists did in the 1960s. They are desperately trying to shave people off the voting rolls by using what they see as legal methods to do so. So if they're able to shave off a few thousand votes here, a few thousand votes there, they want to be able to maintain control and not expand the electorate, but shrink the electorate.
And so it goes right back to what we've said all along. We have to win this at the ballot box. We've got to get out and vote. We've got to establish those coalitions. We continue to talk about it. We've got to continue to do it. When we did do it, we saw what the results were. And so if we want to make certain that we fight back, not only in the court of law, but also what's really going to count at the ballot box, then we've got to make certain we get up, get out, and vote. And we've got to remember that a lot of these issues are state issues. You know, that's what Trump is going to do. Loretta Scott King, as you recall, sounded the alarm when she wrote that letter against Jeff Sessions' nomination, I think, as a federal judge, about what type of person he is. And you be assured that he is following up on all the things that Trump wants to do, and all of the warnings that Loretta Scott King gave us concerning him they were obviously true, and we've got to watch him. The only way we can fight back is through courts of law, and we've got to make certain we turn out the votes in these states so we can regain yep. those legislative offices to make differences in the laws that are passed.
And what you're speaking of is the letter Loretta Scott King wrote to the Judiciary Committee when Jeff Sessions was nominated to be a federal judge in the 1980s, and he was denied that opportunity because of his record. Senator Royce West, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Weekdays on TV One.
I will never lie to you.
Oh, my God.
Roland Martin.
He doesn't want to talk to us. He wants to ignore us.
Uncensored.
Hell no. That ain't gonna cut it, boo.
Unapologetic.
No, that is fundamentally false. You are wrong.
Unfiltered.
He wants an America where we all look alike. He ain't talking about black people.
Unrelenting.
You better go work out, because you got a fight on your hands.
NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on TV One.